He said, "No." And I said, at first I thought, is he feigning? I remember years ago, I had a gentleman who was, I won't mention his name, was a very well-known guy, came to one of my earliest seminars, and I was describing like these values that we have and these rules. And I was saying, you can have a value, but if your rules make it hard to experience, you won't feel that value. And so I use this guy because he's an obvious example, very wealthy, successful, famous man, and a good human being, like philanthropist and great father. And I said, "So are you successful?" I was doing it, being playful. And he said, "No." And I said, at first I thought, is he feigning? Is he being humble? What is this, right? And then I looked at him, it's like, no, he really doesn't feel successful. I said, what has to happen for you to feel successful? He says, a lot of things. I said, well, that's obvious. What are they? And he goes, well, if you're really successful, you never get upset with your kids. And he's got 5, right? What are your chances? Oh, if you're really successful, you're always there for your kids. And I later got to know him well and his kids, and they thought he
Yeah.
was the greatest dad in the world. But his rules wouldn't make him feel that way. What else has to happen? I don't remember the number. It's been so many years, but I think he said you have to have 9% body fat, and he was 10. He was a marathon runner. You have to make $25 million a year. And I said, don't you really make that? He goes, no, I mean in salary, not bonuses and things like that. At that point, he lost rapport with everybody in the room, as you might guess, right? But then there's another guy in the room that this man does not feel successful, even though he values it, even though he pushes for it. He doesn't feel fulfilled. Then I have this other guy in the room I called on because there's certain people are obvious life of the party guys, right? So I called this guy and I said, are you successful, sir? And he stands up and he goes, of course. Right? Everybody laughs. And I said, what has to happen for you to be successful? He said, I have to wake up, stand up, look down, and see I'm above ground. He said, every day above ground's a great day, right? And he legitimately feels successful every day of his life. So our lives are not controlled by the external world. It's the internal world that determines how you feel about things.